I'm here with my friend Genesis and Abba, and these are my two friends from college from Southeastern, and they're here visiting me. And so in my last video I talked about confidence and how to be confident because you know who God says that you are, and you can walk in that strong identity because Christ speaks over you. But I really feel like I wanted, like with my girls here, to just talk about areas we've struggled with confidence and practically how to be more confident and how to not struggle as much with comparison and things like that, because I do think it's very important to know who God says that you are and to walk in that. And I also know that we live in the natural world, and it's like, okay, you don't get to just slab a Bible verse over your whole life and be like, oh, walk in confidence because Christ crowned you in confidence. Okay, all's good. Like, it doesn't really work that way. I wish it did. But there are like practical things that we can do to work on our confidence. So I guess Genesis, like, what are areas that you've struggled with confidence or ways that you've combated against comparison?
I did dance from about 3 to 16. That was like on and off, and then I stopped for good for 2 years straight. And so one way that it was challenged, I remember there was this one dance school that I went to, and like they were a competitive team, and this was my first time, because before I would just do like dance recitals, dance productions. Like I went to like a competition team, and like literally I felt like everybody in there was like competing with each other, and I felt like really below, because first of all the girls were like really tall, and then they were all just so slim, and they were all so beautiful, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like 5'4", and I'm like, and they're like 6 feet, and they put their legs in the air and they leap so long and beautiful like in ballet. So like that was one thing that challenged my confidence. And I've told them about it, but like I also deleted social media.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that for a confidence thing, to be honest, but I didn't realize how much my confidence and comparison like was affected from that, because like once I deleted it, I was like, oh my gosh, like wow, like someone's hyping herself up a little bit more, because you're not like constantly like looking at all these other girls, or like especially with like the new working out and dieting age.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't constantly seeing all these other like fit girls and all this stuff, and I didn't even realize how much I was like putting in to like my brain until like I deleted it. And so like one thing that I have been learning recently is like finding your identity in God, because like realistically I'm Genesis, she's Tristan, she's Abba, like we're all our individual person. Like none of us even have the same hair color, or like I don't even know,
that's so fun.
I don't think any of us have the same eye color. Like we're all so different, so there's no need for me to compare myself to them at all if we're made to be our individual person. And of course there's like people that like look like you and all that stuff, but like you were made to be your own individual person. You have your own name, you have your own fingerprint. So like you can try to compare yourself to people, but at the end of the day, realistically, you will never be them, no matter how hard you try to even look like them. Like you will never be that person. So like you just have to embrace what makes you you, and finding your identity in God. And finding your identity in God helps with that, because He created you to be you, not to be like some other people, but to be you. And so be you.
Yeah, I think that's so good, and I really want to touch on what you said about social media. She deleted her social media, and I don't know, I think this is for somebody, it's probably for me to be honest, but take a break from social media. It's okay. Like, it's okay to go AWOL for a week. Not, you know what, maybe that's extra for you. A day. Give yourself an hour. Like, it's really gonna be okay to take that break and take that time to rejuvenate and not sit there and scroll mindlessly, because you really are taking things in. Like, eyes are the window of the soul. I'm sure you've heard that before, but it's so true. What you take in really does affect you, and when you're sitting there scrolling and taking in all of these fake images, photoshopped, filtered images, and comparing yourself to an unrealistic standard, you're never gonna meet it. You're never gonna meet it.
And a break is so healthy.
So healthy.
Yeah. Also, can I add on one more thing? Okay, so first, when I deleted my social media, I did it as a 21-day fast, actually. I started at the beginning of the year because Transformation Church, Michael Todd, they were doing...
I think he makes it come up in every one of my videos.
Yeah, really? Well, so basically, his church did a 21-day fast. My church usually does that too, like fasting and praying or whatever. And so I felt like even before I did this fast, for the longest time, that like I was having discernment just about social media. And I was like, why? Because honestly, I was like, social media is just an app. doesn't even affect me that much.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I was active on TikTok. I post TikToks every day. I have my Snapchat streak, somewhere like over 500 days. And I was like, I just don't understand why all this would just be like, boop, all in one day. But, like, if you have, like, any discernment about, like, deleting it, then, like, just do it. Because, like I said, like, I did it initially as a 21-day fast. And now we're in June, about 6 months later, and I still have it deleted because that just makes, I didn't realize like how happy it would make me. And so like if you have any discernment about it, like just try it. Because I had discernment about it longer than I did it when I deleted it on that day. Like I've been had discernment about it. And I just kept questioning. I was like, I just don't understand why. It's literally an app. But then after that, like I didn't realize like how much, not only with comparison, but how much it was affecting me in other ways, just knowing the way that like the world is now and knowing where my morals stand. And so to have the morals in my head be constantly fighting with like the world is like a lot. And I didn't even realize that until after I deleted it. So basically, if you have any discernment about it, just do it. Just try it. Even
just
if it's,
cut it out.
I didn't know I'll be doing it 6 months later, but even if you want to do like a 21-day fast, like Tristan was saying, like a week, like just try it. So
yeah, so good.
Yeah.
And I guess Abba, for you too, like has there been anything with you in social media? Are you in confidence?
Yeah, I think for me, like, I really struggled honestly a lot with just the words I would tell myself, and like I would just say a lot of like, oh, you suck, like you just did that, like why would you do that, Abba? And then somebody once asked me, they were like, would you say the things you say to yourself to the person next to you? And so then they actually challenged me to start like saying, like whatever I would say to myself, then they would say, okay, now say that to the person next to you. And I realized how unkind I was to myself and how much more kind I was to other people. And I think part of that was a self-worth thing. Like I didn't think I was worth enough to be kind to myself. And then I think finding my worth in Jesus and finding that I have value because of who I am and whose I am gave me the value to say, okay, I should be kind to myself as well as other people. And so
I love you. Yeah.
I love you.
And I think that's such a relatable thing for people, like speaking words of death over ourselves. And it's like literally, would you say that to the person next to you? Would you say those words to your friend? No, you wouldn't. So why do you say those words to yourself? And I think it's also important to remember that when you sit there and when you insult yourself, you're insulting the one who created you. You're like, hey God, by the way, I think you messed up, and I touched on this in my other video too, but God doesn't make mistakes. And so like for her to sit here and struggle with self-doubt and speak words of death over herself, and her to sit here and compare herself to other girls on social media, and me to do the same, it's literally trying to compare yourself to fake images and also tell God, like, by the way, you messed up in this area of my life, and that's just not true. I know for me, I struggled with confidence. Well, one, spiritually. I don't know, for the people that are Christians watching this right now, if you've ever felt like you see someone get really cool ministry opportunities, or do something really well, or get recognition, and we're really designed, we're wired to want to me, and especially now in this world, it's like me, everything's about getting the attention yourself. So there's definitely been confidence issues with that, like, God, am I qualified? I don't feel like I'm good enough. I feel like, do my words even matter? Do they even affect anyone? Like, should I just stop? And but it goes back to, no, what did God tell you to do? What did God ask of you and equip you with already, that you don't have to struggle with feeling inadequate? Because the reality is, on my own, I'm not enough, but with Christ I am. And so I think that's where our confidence comes from too. And just the fact that we're all girls, we all struggle with confidence, and even guys too. I think it's a very general thing for people to just feel inadequate. But I think too that there are, again, practical things that you can do to also increase your confidence. And some of those things are like going to the gym, or getting dressed up even when you don't feel like it, and getting your makeup done, and doing your hair, and putting on a cute outfit. Sometimes you just gotta feel yourself, you know? And I feel like we used to all go to the gym together, and going to the gym for me really did increase my confidence, because even if I didn't see change, I at least felt better. Like, it releases endorphins, and you know, there's like a whole scientific thing behind it all. I'm not a scientist, but we used to all go to the gym. And so Genesis, how has like going to the gym for you and changing your lifestyle? You cut out sugar too, right? Yeah, there's like so many things that you've done that has like helped with your confidence. So do you want to talk about that?
So first of all, I did all of these things to have a healthier lifestyle, not really for confidence boost, but I didn't realize until later that it did help my confidence because like at first I did it and I still very big on this. I think that like health is so important. And so basically like she was saying like I did cut out sugar from like October last year until I would say about April. And so that's something for me personally. I'm not telling everybody to cut out sugar because that may not be something for you, but that was just something that I wanted to do because it also helped me with self-control. And so basically it helped my confidence because I like to work out. And so I was taking practical steps to get my body the way that I wanted it in a very like non-toxic way, because it's very easy to be toxic on yourself because there'd be some days where I would even just like crave sugar more and then I would get mad at myself and I'm just like what? Like I'm still taking the effort of not eating it, you know? And so like just make sure like not to be toxic on yourself. There's definitely like steps and boundaries.
Yeah.
So basically I was taking practical steps to make my body like the way that I wanted it, and now like I'm really happy where I am. And I was happy where I was before, but now like have more of a desire to like go to the gym and to eat healthier and all that stuff. So basically what I'm trying to say is you can take practical steps to help you build your confidence or to do things that build confidence. And one thing that I think is really cool is I had this one friend and she said that she always put a lot of like too much thought and too much of who she was into her clothing, and so she did like a clothing fast, which I thought was so interesting.
That is interesting.
And like instead of like dressing up every day and like having to wear like loads of makeup, like she would just wear like leggings or like sweatpants, because like before for her, like that's something personal for her, like before like she'd be like, oh no, like I can't wear leggings out, like there's too much dressing down, stuff like that. And so she did like a clothing fast, and I've never heard of that, and I thought that was so cool.
I've heard
and
of
it
makeup.
helped, and it helped like bring out more of her personality, because she wasn't putting her personality so much into her looks but into like who she was. And so like for me, mine was like quitting sugar to help me reach my workout goal, and that was like a practical step that I took to help build my confidence. And then like for my friend, like one of the practical steps she took was to not feel like she has to be this pretty girl in order to like get attention or whatever.
That's so
like
good.
That is really
it's
cool.
finding like the confidence in you, and I just thought that was so cool. So like if you want to do a clothing fast or sugar free, whatever,
You're
like
here.
that's so cool, because I would have never thought of that. So do what works for you. Like don't just, it's great to like take people's advice and all that stuff, but like do what works for you. So if you don't feel like you need to take off sugar completely from any snacks, anything that you're eating, don't do it. Or if you don't feel like you need a clothing fast because you don't put too much into your personality, into your looks, then like don't do it. Like know where your struggles are at and then build from that, because like I said earlier, like we're all different, we all have different DNAs, all that. It's like we all have different mindsets, so do what works for you.
Yeah, and I think that's so good, and I want to go off of that too, because for me, I've never heard of clothing fast, like I said, I've heard of makeup, and I did a makeup fast. With my church, we did 21 days of prayer and fasting, and I've done social media, I've done food fasts, but I did a makeup fast because I really found a lot of my confidence and a lot of my value and my beauty in my makeup. When I got all dressed up, that's how I felt more confident. And the area of struggle for me was with makeup. But again, if you're someone who doesn't feel like you eat the right things, then do a health fast and be like, I'm cutting out, like she said, I'm cutting out junk food. Or one thing, I'm cutting out chips that I snack on at 12 o'clock, and I'm going to instead have like celery and ranch or something. Figure out what works for you in the area of confidence you are struggling in, and then come up with ways with like between you, your friendships, your community, and God, and figure out what is going to work for you.
Yeah.
And so when I was freed from makeup, I like, now I can leave the house and I don't feel like, oh, I need makeup, like I can't leave yet. I'm totally comfortable to not wear makeup, and so that was an area of God.
And
worked.
also like take things in step, because like when I said that I went from sugar free from like October all the way until at the beginning of April, the beginning of May, so all through April, like I didn't wake up one morning and I was just like, no sugar for the next like 6 months. Like that's not what I did. Like before that I started exactly with that voice. Like before that I did, it was either sugar, I think I started doing, I would eat sugar and like breads or whatever, just because it was with my workout diet. I would do that like only on Sundays, and I did that for like a year. And so like when I first started that, I had no plan on being like sugar free, but then afterwards I was like, I think I could really do this sugar free. Yeah. And so then that's when I went. So it wasn't just an overnight thing, because like realistically I would only eat on like Sundays for like the year before that. And then I went to school and it changed a little bit because like my diet changed, but like since I still had like that history from that, like it was easier. So like please don't like get mad at yourself being like, oh my gosh, like I already failed, you know,
Yeah,
like
right.
take it in steps.
Have grace.
Yeah, have lots of
Yeah.
grace. And then also, I would eat sugar on the holidays, so I give myself a treat sometimes. So yeah.
I think something for me that was super huge in finding my confidence was actually this account I found on Instagram, and it was this lady who would show a picture of herself posed with like her hips back, and it would show her wrists back, and it would kind of push back the parts of her body that she wanted smaller, and she basically showed how easy it is to see something so fake on Instagram, and then she'd post right next to it the picture of her natural body as it was. In the words she used a lot of grace for herself, and it was just really neat to see like how someone could embrace who they were without having the need to try to feel like they had to change the ankles or anything for other people. And I think that really helped me with my confidence to see that a lot of what I'm seeing like online or on social media is just not accurate.
Yeah.
And it's just not the way it is, and I think realizing that, because sometimes it's hard to like realize that what you're seeing just isn't like true and it's
Yeah.
not accurate.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's so true. And I
Yeah.
think for me too, with Instagram, a really good thing that really helped me is, I don't really know the science behind it all again, but I know with Instagram there's like an algorithm, and so what you like is what it will show you first. So if you're out there liking a bunch of bikini pictures, it's going to show you a bunch of people in bikinis. If you're liking a bunch of workout posts, it's going to show you a bunch of really fit people. I began liking a lot of Christian content pictures, like Christian couples, or like wholesome, like what I eat in a day, like just like really wholesome content that's like inspired me, rather than made me beat myself up and feel down about myself. So I would encourage you to go through and like find posts that you like, and like literally like those posts, you know, like heart those posts, and then even if it's like, or save it or repost it or send it to someone, because Instagram will begin to pick up on what you're liking and what you're interacting with and show you more of those things. So on my account now, like I said, it's a bunch of more encouraging stuff rather than stuff that I scroll mindlessly and then feel like, okay, great, I'm so glad I wasted 2 hours looking at a bunch of people and feeling down on myself. That was such a great time. So
Yeah.
I think those are all some just really practical things that you could do to increase and improve upon self-doubt and not feeling like enough. But I think something too is getting around people who will encourage you and
Yeah.
will make you feel like the child and daughter or son of God that you are. Like, get around those people who are going to speak life over you, because our words are so important. Again, God spoke the world into existence. Like, how important are our words that we speak to each other? So,
And that's huge, like having people too who not only like remind you of that you're beautiful, but that like remind you of who you actually are.
yeah.
Yeah. And that you're more than that.
And I think too that when you are in a relationship with Jesus, like, you then get a clearer understanding of who you are, and then like Genesis has a clear understanding of who she is, Abba has a clear understanding of who she is. So when Genesis like looks beautiful or gets done up or goes out and like looks amazing, I don't feel like, oh my gosh, like, God, but like I'm not pretty, so like what? Like, I'm just gonna cry. Like,
Yeah.
I get like
Yeah.
like I support her, and like I never feel like we're competing, and I never feel like
Yeah.
we're competing. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, she's beautiful, my friends are beautiful, praise God, you know?
Yeah. And also be that friend. I'm all about girl power.
Yeah.
I was telling Abba the other day, I was like, I'm sticking with my girl to the end. I don't care. So like, literally, like, just be that girl that's like an encouragement. Like Tristan was saying, like, once you find more confidence in yourself, like,
Yeah.
your mind doesn't even have room to like think about, oh, but like, what if like this is how you are, that's how she is. Like, no, like, you just want to uplift them and encourage them. And then also, like, of course, I'm sure we all have times where we're also like uplifting to ourselves too in a
Yeah.
non-prideful
Yes,
way,
that's
but
huge.
just like realizing like how beautiful like God made each of us individually to be. And so like, it's nice to like put that energy onto other people too.
Yeah.
And be like, yes, queen.
But
you
I
know?
think though, as I like uplift myself, then I have the energy
Yeah,
to do it to others.
exactly.
That's so good. It's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're
So-
gonna pour out what you're getting filled with. So if you're
Yeah.
filling yourself with positive like words and
Yeah.
affirmations and just things that make you feel whole and healed,
Yeah.
you're then gonna exchange those words to other people and help
Yeah.
them to feel whole and healed as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah. And it's also genuine. Like, I don't really say stuff like just to be nice. Like, the things that
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, I'm actually like mean. I'm
Yeah.
actually mean. So like, I'm being like genuine. So like, you'll know.
You'll know.
Yeah, you'll know. Be like, dang, like my friend looks pretty, like, yes, girl, queen, you know? So, it'll be genuine. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I hope that this helps, and if there's anything else that you guys feel would be good to improve your confidence or improve with self-doubt or not feeling like you're enough or whatever it might be that you're struggling with, feel free to comment that down below. Be sure to like and subscribe if this video has helped you or if any of the videos in the past have helped you. Yeah, we'd love, like, I feel like we're all like friends.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want it to be like me and like everyone else. Like we're all just talking, we're all just figuring out this life together. So, like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys.
Share.
Yeah. Share with your girls or your guys.
And if you have a sponsor, give it to Tristan. And every person who watches the video, she'll get paid. So if you have any sponsorships, just go ahead and drop
anyway.
Let me go 10% to tithe. We'll give 10% to tithe.
Oh, that's good. We'll give it to the tithe.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
So
I don't even know what she's talking
we
about.
gotta make a living somehow. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.